media comment in poor taste?
She said, please beware and don't purchase from her.
Do you have a food license to be able to cook and sell to the public?
No, I don't.
The judge has no appetite for dishonesty.
You knew you were breaking the law when you were cooking and selling food out of your house. You don't have a love affair with the truth.
This is Judge Judy. Colleen Fuller is suing Moshe Platt for defamation of character and loss of income after Moshe slandered her on Facebook.
Judge's case number 160 on the calendar in the matter of Fuller versus Platt. Parties have been sworn in. Folks, have a seat, please.
Ms. Fuller, this is what I gather from your complaint. Because of the COVID pandemic, the governor of your state, Governor Newsom in California, closed all restaurants to in-person dining indoors. But would you stop moving around, please? You're making me seasick.
Sorry.
And you belong to some sort of a food group. You posted, according to you, on your Facebook page, a statement, which I will look at. According to you, the statement indicated that you were going to be sort of a vigilante, and if you knew anyone who was breaking the rule and allowing...
Correct.
Tell me exactly what you posted on your Facebook page. Read it to me.
Okay. It says, if I see any inside dining open, I'm calling OSHA, ABC, whoever I need to, point blank, period.
Okay, and that's all you said?
Yes.
As a result of that, the defendant, who you knew, you say called you.
She called me at my job. She didn't call my phone directly.
That's not true.
Well, just a second. Hold on a second. How would somebody that doesn't know you know where you work?
Because she's friends with my employer's daughter. And she called my employer's daughter and got the phone number that way.
Are you telling me that prior to receiving a call from her, you didn't know who she was?
I knew who she was, but when she called,
Okay.
That was the first conversation I've ever had with her in my life.
I'm not asking you whether that's the first conversation. You knew who she was.
Yes.
Had you ever seen her before?
Yes.
Where had you seen her before?
I seen her one time at Food for Less.
And what was the defendant doing there?
Shopping.
So you were just two strangers shopping?
Yes.
Did you exchange any word, like a hello?
She did with my employer.
You mean you were just standing there?
Yes, I was loading groceries onto the belt to be rang up.
So aside from that, your employer, you had never seen her before or after?
No.
Did your employer introduce you to her?
No.
So she didn't know your name?
She did know my name.
Wow.
Because my sister...
Just a second.
Okay, sorry.
Just explain to me. I'm not getting... These are not two strangers that she called you up. I'm trying to get to the truth of it. You're making it difficult for me.
Okay, well, she knows who I am, and I know who she is because our sisters used to be best friends about 15 years ago.
So according to you, that's the way you know her. Your sisters used to be best friends.
Yes.
Had you seen her 15 years ago?
No.
If your sisters were best friends?
No.
Never saw her?
No, I didn't live with my
spoke to
sister
her.
when growing up. I didn't live with my sister growing up.
How do you know your sister was best friends with her sister?
Because I was around her sister. When she would hang out with my sister and sometimes I would be visiting with her, she would be there.
Her sister?
Yes.
So that there is a connection. I'm just trying to figure out how a person, because she's in the restaurant business.
Right.
And she, according to you, called you, you say, at your place of employment.
Yes.
And threatened you about this post that you put up on your Facebook page that you're going to report anybody that you see violating the rule of whatever media outlet will listen, whatever governmental agency will listen.
Yes.
Subsequent to that phone call, which I'm sure was unpleasant, you decided to do some sort of a fundraiser. And your fundraiser was for whose benefit?
For my brother.
Why?
Because he has schizophrenia and he also has a substance abuse problem, and I was trying to raise money to get him into treatment.
Is that what you wrote in your fundraising advertising?
No, I didn't. I really didn't want to put his business out there like that.
So what did you say?
I have the poster right here, what I had, if you would like me to read it to you.
Sure.
Okay. It says, all homemade, delicious chili beans and white rice and cornbread and fried chicken. Can also put crackers if you'd like. Nice size servings and $10 a plate or 2 for $15. I can also deliver for free. And then I posted pictures.
Just a second. It doesn't say that you're doing it for anything other than yourself. It
Right.
doesn't say anything about fundraiser.
It doesn't say anything,
It doesn't
but that's
say
what
anything.
it was for.
I don't care what you're telling me now it was for, because I believe that that's probably a whole lot of baloney. So what you were doing is you were cooking out of your home for commercial sale for profit. That's what you were advertising. $10 is what it was. According to you, you had lots of orders and you made $300 and people would come to your house and pick up the food. Is that what the idea was?
Yes, I was delivering, actually.
Okay. You made about, according to you, about $300 when the defendant posted on her Facebook page what you consider a defamatory statement.
Yes.
About what you were doing, making and selling food for profit out of your home. And you want to tell me what she said about you, because that's the basis of your lawsuit.
Right.
What did she say?
Would you like me to read the whole post or just the part that I'm... The whole thing?
Yeah, is it very long? This is only a half-hour program.
Okay, I'll just read you this part. So she said, someone has a very serious health issue that can kill with one drop of blood, so please beware and don't purchase from her. And she posted pictures of my comment and my post that I made selling the food along with that statement.
Okay, put it up so I can read the whole thing now. Now put it up on evidence. Can I see the replies?
I don't think I have the replies for that post.
She mentions your name?
My name is right here and right here. She posted pictures of my picture with my name right next to it with the stuff that I posted along with what she said.
Yeah, I think you could probably put, but that says under replies.
Oh.
Is that what you posted, Miss Platt? Miss Platt?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I did write this.
So no, I saw that you wrote it. I'm asking you, you posted, it says under replies, you posted.
Yes, I did post, but underneath the replies, this is from Madeira to Go. Those where you see it says replies, that is from the Madeira to Go group page that we had. That's not the replies from the Madeira online garage sale. There was no replies coming from me. It was just other people replying that she was a hater, that she's a hypocrite for trying to call OSHA or whatever.
I'm just saying, I don't know who posted that.
If I may, ma'am?
No.
Okay.
I'll get to you in a second.
Okay.
I'm looking at her statement.
Mm-hmm. If I can clear up where it says replies, Your Honor, that's a screenshot of what I had posted originally saying I would call OSHA on people.
I understand. I understand that.
So she put my comment that I had made about calling OSHA on people along with my post. She added the screenshots as pictures.
Correct.
Did you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I just want to make certain that there's a tie-in. Okay. So the only problem that she has is, just FYI, someone has a very serious health issue that can kill with a drop of blood, so please beware and don't purchase from her. Y'all be safe. So the someone that she's talking about, even though she posted your picture, you want me to tie the two in together, the someone, even though she doesn't mention your name.
Yeah, well, it's kind of goes hand in hand. If you put my picture and saying this, and saying what she said, the person reading it would believe that she's talking about me.
I could do that. Now, let's get back to you. Do you have a food license to be able to cook and sell to the public?
No, I don't.
Do you have a cottage license, which allows you to cook certain things in your house, that your house has been inspected?
No, I don't.
No, you don't.
No.
So that you were breaking the law when you were cooking and selling food out of your house during COVID.
Yes.
And you knew you were breaking the law when you were cooking and selling food out of your house with COVID. I want you to understand that I'm not buying this.
He was put in an institution because he has schizophrenia and substance abuse. I wouldn't lie about that, Your Honor.
Just a second. I'm not questioning whether your brother is sick. I'm questioning whether you paid for it from the food you were making.
Well, he was put on a 5150 hold, so nobody paid for it. But what I'm saying is I couldn't even put him in a drug treatment program because everything I was doing was stopped.
Let me tell you that you use this $300 for your brother. That's what I'm saying to you. I don't believe that. And you're saying to me, well, that's true, but I would have if I could have, if they let me. But instead, I used the $300 for myself. What you were doing is for profit.
I did not use it for myself.
For profit, selling food out of your house without a license during COVID.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't like people who come to court and skirt around the truth, have a difficult time addressing and greeting the truth. That's a very hard thing for me.
Colleen Fuller says Moshe Platt slandered her on Facebook, causing her to lose income and harassment.
Now, who do you live with?
Myself.
Who do you work for?
I work for in-home support services.
So you see different people all the time?
No, I just have one client.
Or you stay with one. You have the same client now?
Yes, I've had for 8 years.
As part of your work responsibility, just so that I know, how often are you COVID tested?
I get tested once every 2 weeks.
Okay, now, I'm going to turn to you for a second. So I get the gist of it. What your countersuit is, which is ridiculous, which I'm not even entertaining, you say because she posted that post about in-room dining, I was forced to temporarily close my business, and people threaten me on social media. Whatever she said, if somebody threatened you, then they're an idiot, because she didn't name you, according to what she read to me.
Okay, so...
Unless you're telling me, just a second.
Okay.
Did she write anything specific about you on her Facebook page?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'd like to see what she specifically wrote about you.
Okay, so, because I know you have 30 minutes to do the show, I was sleeping and I woke up to a text message with a screenshot saying that, hey, are you okay, cousin? And I was like, yes. And I said, why?
Yeah, just, hey,
Yes.
show me something, not speak.
Okay.
I said,
Here you go,
show
ma'am.
me what she said
I'm
about
showing you right there, ma'am. It says Brianne Fuller, which I'm also assuming that it's her other account because I didn't speak to anyone else.
So why? Just a second. I want you to show me her original post.
This is the...
I don't care about that.
That is the original post. She said she spoke to that black Moshe Robinson, and she called and said about...
I don't care.
Okay,
I don't
not
care
a problem.
about that. That's nonsense.
And then
That's
I have
nonsense.
text messages as well.
That's a nonsense.
I do have text messages if you want proof of that as well.
Shh. Just a second. I'm dismissing the part of your complaint that has to do with defamation. There's no defamation. It's just nasty speak.
Okay.
Now, the other part of your counterclaim, which I'm going to get rid of, is for harassment for $2,000. I want you to pick the worst text message she sent to you. The worst. Pick the worst text message she sent to you.
So this is the text messages.
Don't speak. Don't speak. Just put it up on the evidence board.
Okay, here is... She was using my uncle's stuff, so... Sorry. There's like a long list of them.
No, would you do me a favor? I said to you, and... Okay.
And I have another one. Would you like to see them?
Sure.
Okay.
Show me the other one.
And then
Show me
this
the other one. That's
this
not
one
a
right
threat.
Here's from my uncle's cell phone, which she called me from, which I have the screenshots of that as well. Watch the turnout. And I said, is that a threat to me? And that one here. And then on social media,
Also
she
nothing.
said she was going to slap me. It's right there in...
Okay. Very good. Very good. Your counterclaim is dismissed. Now let's get back to what we're really talking about. You're going to explain to me, if you wrote, she has a disease that if people came in contact with even one drop of her blood, it could kill them. What did you write?
Just what it says there. It says someone. It says someone. It does not say her because I didn't want to put my family member on blast because they do live together. That is the reason why I said someone.
Are you telling me that the person, because in your answer says it's your uncle,
Yes.
lives with her?
Yes.
Now?
Yes. When I had spoken to him on the phone, I said, do you know a Colleen Fuller? And she's carrying his last name, okay? So I said, do you know her? And his reply was, and he was like, well, we're not together anymore, but she does live here with me.
That's a lie.
That is very correct. I have no reason to lie.
Just a second. Your uncle says she's not my girlfriend anymore.
Lie.
But she still lives here with me?
Correct. And he said that she's her own woman and she could speak for herself. Would you like to speak to her? I said yes.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
You have your uncle's phone number?
Yes, ma'am.
Give it to me.
559.
And just tell me his first name. You want me to make this call?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You're coming to court with unclean hands.
But I'm not
You
talking about
broke-
the part that she's saying that I'm selling food. I'm just talking about the disease part.
I don't care.
Nobody said you had a disease.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Colleen Fuller is accusing Moshe Platt of slandering her on Facebook, causing her to lose income.
Okay. Number's been disconnected. Let's try it again.
Your Honor, that's the correct
559.
number. 559. I said that's the correct number. 559 is his phone number.
Okay. So you know her uncle?
He's my employer. I've been working for him through in-home support for 8 years.
Oh, now I got it.
If you could please make that call, he can clear everything up.
Just a second. Why didn't you just tell me that instead of saying my employer?
He's not her uncle. He even asked me, why does she keep calling me her uncle? And I'm not related to her, no way, shape, or form. That's what he told
My
me.
cousin is Ebony.
All right, just a second. I'm going to make this very simple for myself.
Okay.
Because I don't like people who come to court and skirt around the truth, have a difficult time addressing and greeting the truth. That's a very hard thing for me. But I don't even have to reach the point whether I think that she defamed you. You were operating out of your home an illegal food operation during a pandemic, exposing the public.
Your Honor,
You go to
the part that
grocery stores, you're out shopping.
The defamation part that I'm talking about is not...
Let's understand each other.
I understand you,
Let's
Your Honor.
understand each other.
I do.
Let's understand me. You're coming to court with unclean hands. Your unclean hands are you broke the law.
But I'm not talking about the part that she's saying that I'm selling food. I'm just talking about the disease part.
Nobody said you had a disease.
I don't care. What you are...
Yes, ma'am.
What you are asking the court is for help, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You're asking the court for help, and you're coming to the same incident, and I'm not helping you because you don't have a love affair with the truth.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Are you the victim of an assault? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, if you had said to me, listen, I know, put your hand down.
Yes, ma'am.
Put your hand down.
Yes, ma'am.
If you had said to me, I know her, this is how I know her. I worked for a man for 8 years who she keeps calling her uncle. I don't think it's her uncle. And she used to be best friends. I had to pull it out of you. She used to be best friends with my sister.
Her sister.
Goodbye. We're done with you. You don't have a love affair with the truth.
Your Honor,
and
but
you
you're
came
not
to
letting
court
me
with
explain my
unclean
case.
hands.
If you would
Goodbye.
let me explain,
We're
please.
done. I heard enough. That's it.
But I'm
What about
telling-
my
to
lost
court.
wages, ma'am?
I'm telling the truth, Your
What
Honor.
about my lost wages, ma'am?
I-
I lost business because of her.
If you could call my
Listen to
employer,
me.
he could tell
I
you.
dismissed your counterclaim. You weren't paying attention. You were too busy talking.
I had to pay
I'm
back
done, Bert. Would you
$4,000
tell
for
them to
my
leave?
customer.
Case is concluded. Parties are excused.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy,
I was in jail.
it's a bad idea to bring back her ex.
How did she cut her arm, Mr. Simple?
Daniel pushed me.
Judge Judy.
The comment that I had posted on Facebook, she took personally. It was nothing directed towards her.
She came for me and she came for.
It wasn't directed towards her because she doesn't have inside dining.
Someone as a fraud like her who could sit there and point the finger, but you're doing the most.
I just hope she doesn't defame anybody else and get sued again.
She got what she deserves.
After a death in the family, a tug of war.
Your mother signed a document that you should have the car.
That's correct.
What your sister did was pull a fast one.
Now sisters collide head on.
I'm trying to get what's going on here. You came in and you paid off the car.
They said it was going to go into default.
The car wasn't in default.
I didn't know that.
I think you played it cute.
This is Judge Judy. Christine Espinosa is suing her sister, Sandra Espinosa, for the return of a vehicle she claims belongs to her.
Judge, this is case number 133 on the calendar in the matter of Espinosa versus Espinosa.
Thank you, Bird. Miss Espinosa, the defendant is your sister, and each of you claim that they own a car that had belonged to your deceased mother. That's what this case is about?
Yes.
So I have a few questions. First, who has title to the car in their possession?
I do.
What state do you live in, Miss Espinosa?
Utah,
And in what state did your mother live before she passed away in May of this year?
California,
And in what state did your sister live in May of this year?
California.
At what address did your sister live in February of 2020?
I believe she was with my mother in Marietta.
Yeah, she did. She lived with your mother.
Yes.
How long did she live with your mother?
I'm going to say a year that I recall.
Was your mother sick during that year?
Yes.
What was the nature of her illness?
She had age problems and
Miss Espinosa, what was wrong with your mother?
She had dementia, spinal stenosis, diverticulitis, heart issues.
Where had you lived before you moved in with your mother?
I was actually in Las Vegas.
Did you work?
No, ma'am. I was out on a job injury,
What was the nature of the job injury?
a back injury.
Okay, so that's what was wrong. Your mother had dementia. She had spinal stenosis. That's why your sister was there, at least in part. How many times in that year that your sister was there did you visit?
10 times,
Would you stay for any period of time?
at least a weekend.
And so it's your testimony that you were there almost monthly.
I tried to, yes.
If I were to ask your sister and the other people who were here as witnesses, would they say you were there almost monthly to see your mother?
Probably not.
How many times do you think that they would say you visited your mother in that year?
Maybe 5.
Maybe 5. Would that be a closer figure to how many times you visited your mother in that year? Close to 5?
No, I say 8, about 8 times.
Now, your mother had a 2013 Kia. Your mother died in May. Prior to your mother's death, did you purchase that car from your mother?
No.
In what month did you contact the finance company to see how much was left on the loan?
That would be in August.
When you contacted the finance company, can you tell me the reason you contacted the finance company?
To purchase the car because they said it was going to go into default.
How would you know that? You had never been involved with the car prior to your mother's death.
Right.
You weren't on the loan.
No, it wasn't.
So what prompted you to call the finance company?
I did not want them to repossess the car.
Listen to me. You were never involved with this car. What would have prompted you to call the... They certainly didn't call you. You weren't on the loan. So you contacted them.
Right. I just needed a car. It was a good car. I did not want it to go back to the bank. I wanted to keep it in the
Just
family.
a minute. So you called to see if someone else was making the payments. Because if they weren't making the payments, you could hop in, pay the car off, and get it.
Yes.
I mean, that has to be the answer. You called to see if someone else was making the payments. And what I want to know is, in what month did you call them?
The beginning of August.
Well, you wrote to Motor Vehicles in August. Show me the check or the proof that you paid off the car.
Okay.
I want to see what date it was.
Here's the wire transfer to the bank.
That was in July.
Is that July?
That was in July, not August.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have my wrong dates. I apologize.
And what date did your mother pass in May?
May 7th of 2020.
So the beginning of May.
Yes, ma'am.
Before your mother passed away, who made the car payments on this car?
My mother was making them up until about April when I got a phone call from the loan company. It was a wellness check due to the COVID. At the end of the conversation, the representative asked me if everything was fine, and I said yes, but she repeated the question again. I go, yes. She goes, well, just to let you know, you're 1 payment behind, and in 4 days, you'll be 2 payments behind. The other sister, and the payments were to be made. I did ask my mother if she was aware that they had stopped making the payments on there, and she said no.
Just a second. Did you ever make the payments on the car?
I started making them after they told me that there was 2 payments behind. So the first payment that I made was for the sum of $800 in May.
So can you show me proof that you made the payment in May?
Yes, ma'am.
So that made up for April and May. Ms. Espinosa, did you make another payment in June?
Yes, I did.
Do you have proof of that?
I did have it because I did make the payment.
How much was that payment in June?
The payment was, I believe, $387, but my mom always made $400 payments, so I was making $400 payments.
Okay, and then you came in and you paid off the car.
Correct.
So the car wasn't in default. She had made payments on the car. One sister had, and then she made payments up for April and May and June.
I didn't know that.
Well, why didn't you ask?
They told me it was in default already.
No, I don't believe that. Unless you have a letter from them that it was in default. She has proof she made the payments. It wouldn't have been in default.
I don't have a letter.
I think you played it cute. I think you had a paid-off car and all it... And you think that I'm going to help you? That's unlikely. Miss Espinosa, you have physical custody of this car. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Your sister paid off the balance of the car.
I found out via letter, yes.
This court doesn't think she should have the car because what she did was pull a fast one. And you're going to tell me that your mother signed a document that you should have the car.
That's correct.
In what month and year?
The letter was written on October 30th of 2019, and it was notarized on May 2nd of 2019.
Well, you see, my problem is, Miss Espinosa, that you testified a moment ago that your mother suffered from dementia.
Yes, ma'am. She was in the early stages of dementia.
And that, well, that's not what you said before.
No, it is not what I said.
And you said that your sister in Florida was taking care of paying for the Kia, which I assume you were driving.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I actually think that your sister did not do the right thing by coming in and calling the finance company. They're more than happy to have somebody pay off the car and not have to deal with it anymore. So they said, fine, she'll pay off the car and we'll give her title to the car. Did your mother leave any other property other than this car?
She had her personal belongings also. There was a lot of undermining with that also.
But
she was renting, and the bank account was under my sister's name in Florida. She ended up with that also. Whatever my mom had in the account at that time.
This sister or the sister in Florida?
The one in Florida.
Ended up with that bank account. So they had a joint bank account.
Yes, it was originally under my name with my mother's.
And was your mother receiving Social Security?
Yes.
So your mother's Social Security check was going into that joint bank account?
That's correct.
And your sister was paying the car note from that bank check?
To my knowledge,
right?
Yes.
And how many sisters are there?
There's 5 sisters and 2 brothers.
Oh, big family.
Yes, ma'am.
Does anybody else want this 2013 Kia?
I honestly don't know because I wasn't even aware that this was happening until I called the bank after I received the letter indicating that my other sister in Florida was the owner of the car and they had paid the vehicle off. I did call the bank and I asked them how that happened.
Just a second. The car was in your mother's name and your other sister in Florida?
No, that's the document that I received after the fact.
But was the car in your
my mother's
name
solely?
And solely?
Yes.
Now, you don't have a counterclaim.
Well,
at least for the money that... Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I just found out about all this shenanigans just about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, if that at all. I wasn't aware. When I called the loan company, I asked them what was going on, and they said she was my mom's successor. So they sent her the documents so that she can sign up, and that's how they ownership it.
Hold on a second. Are you in touch with your sister in Florida?
Yes.
Miss Espinosa?
Yes, I am.
You are? Oh, that makes it easier for me. When I say you're in touch with your sister in Florida, are you in touch with your sister in Florida about this car?
We were, but I talked to her every day besides the car situation.
Well, she was the one that was handling this. Who paid off the car, you or your sister in Florida?
I paid the car off.
Just look at me. Shh. With whose money?
My own money.
Did your sister send you any money?
No, she did not.
Was there any money in the joint bank account that your sister had with your mother?
I don't know that financial.
That's a yes or a no. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You know because you speak to your sister every day. How much money was in the joint bank account that your sister had with your mother?
I don't know because I don't handle the financial stuff.
Well, then I'm going to ask your other sister. She's going to give me an answer. And so if you don't know, I'm going to believe her answer. Do you understand that?
Yes.
How much money was in the joint bank account? Do you know?
All I can do is estimate that there was approximately $8,000 in there, and then the stimulus check was added on there on April 29th of this year.
And do you know how much money your mother received from Social Security every month?
To be honest with you, no.
Got sick?
Well,
What kind of work
she had
did
been
you do?
retired for a few years already at that time, but she was also receiving compensation from my father's retirement also.
And do you know how much she was receiving?
No, ma'am.
I'm going to repeat myself. Did your sister send you any money from your mother's joint bank account?
She did not, Your Honor.
Did you ask her about it?
No, I did not.
I don't believe that.
Tell her why she started paying. Can I please say something?
Yeah, now I'll hear you have a witness?
Yes, I
Sure. Come on up.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Miss Espinosa,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to take a look at these bills while you had control over your mother's finances. So I'm going to ask you, did you ever use any of that money at casinos?
Christine Espinosa claims her sister, Sandra Espinosa, is in possession of a vehicle that belongs to her.
Yeah, now I'll hear you have a witness?
Yes, I
Sure. Come on up.
Hi, my name is
Who
Michelle
are you?
Espinoza. I am the sister-in-law. I am married to their brother.
What
so
I want
the
to know,
reason
what I want to know-
that the sister in
Don't-
Florida started taking over the payments was because we found discrepancies and withdrawals in the statements that Sandy was taking money out near gambling, or $400 at a time, $300 at that time. I have the statements here on credit cards that were in Georgia's
That's from-
name only. In the time frame that we're
were in-
discussing, from
Just a second.
August to February.
Okay. So what you're saying is that the defendant had control over some aspect of your mother's finances, and that was changed.
Correct, because of the evidence that
So
we
your
found.
sister in Florida.
Exactly, because there was
Okay.
something that was not adding up.
How much was not adding up?
I have it
much?
here
Look
in
at
the thousands. I have it all highlighted on the money that she took out in the different places. I would say at least $3,000.
And this was from...
Of the statements that we have. We don't have all of the statements. And she was paying her phone bill out of it, and she was paying her psychics, like all sorts of different things out of her mom's.
Okay. Did you have discussions with the defendant in front of your mother?
Yes, my stepson did, and his
No,
mom.
I want to know if you did.
If I did not, in
I
front
wanna
of
know
her,
if you
no.
was-
I had
no,
a discussion
no,
with
no.
Georgia regarding the theft, but I did not have a discussion with Sandy when I was there taking care of her at
Not
one time.
interested. Not interested. Not interested. Miss Espinosa,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to take a look at these bills while you had control over your mother's finances. So I'm going to ask you, you had control over some of your mother's money. Did you ever use any of that money at casinos or to pay a phone bill of yours?
Yes,
Yes,
that is true.
because-
My mother was aware of it because I asked her if I can use her credit card, and she was aware of it.
Oh, no. No, that I don't believe.
Okay,
No,
no,
that
no.
I don't believe.
No, it is the truth. I don't know if you believe me or not, but the withdrawals were withdrawals that I did for my mother, and I asked her on several occasions because she asked me if she could take money out of it, because I asked her to take the money out of one of them to consolidate all her credit cards. And then she finally asked me for the cash. She says,
Okay.
Mom, do you need it? She says, no. I says, then why do you want me to take it out? She says, because it's my money. That was her answer.
Okay, yeah, okay. Your mother didn't go to a casino, did she?
No. I went over that way, and I
No.
told her I was going to withdraw from
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to get what's going on here. Now I'm going to hear from... Pick which witness you want me to hear from.
Probably Karen.
Miss Espinosa.
Miss Karen Wilson. She's a good friend of my mom.
Okay.
She's known her for over 30 years.
Okay, great.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Is it your intention to sign title over to her?
I'd like to take the car home with me.
Well, you don't have the car. And I know that you would prefer to have the car because it's a good little car. But I actually think...
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Christine Espinosa is accusing her sister, Sandra Espinosa, of withholding a vehicle she has the title for.
Miss Wilson, you were a friend of Miss Espinosa's mother for how long?
Probably about 30 years.
Did you see her in the last year of her life?
Yes, I did.
Who was her primary caregiver the last year of her life?
Sandra was.
How many times did the plaintiff come to visit in the last year of her life?
I had never seen her there before. This is the first time I've met her or I've seen her. But from what Sandy told me, when she came, it wasn't.
No,
that...
don't tell me what.
Okay.
Okay. Don't tell me what Sandy told you. You never saw her.
I never saw her.
Was her last name Espinosa? Your friend.
Well, I knew her as Georgia.
How often did you see her?
Probably about once a week.
Did you ever have discussions with Georgia about who she wanted to retain this car?
Yes, I did. Back in 2018, Georgia was concerned that once she passed, it was going to be a big fight with her family. And it upset her. She was concerned about it. And I told her, I said, the way you can get around that is just make a list and who you wanted to go to whom. And so, longtime friend that, she wanted Sandy to have the car for taking care of her because she did such a good job. And she did. When I went over there, the house was always clean. Georgia was always fed. And, she was doing good.
Well, so this is my question to you. Somebody paid off the car. Somebody was going to have to pay off the car. Make regular and consistent payments on the car. Otherwise, it was going to be repossessed. The plaintiff, although I think her motives were not born out of goodwill, and certainly the timing was not consistent with being a relevant sister, she did pay off the car. Your friend has been driving the car for about how long? 6 months? 8 months?
Actually, the
about
car,
6 months.
The car's been sitting for about 2.5 months when all this started.
It may have been sitting, but prior to that, you drove it.
Not frequently, but yes.
You drove it in May, you drove it in June, you drove it in July, you drove it in August, you drove it in September. Then this all started, May, June, July, August, September. You drove the car for 5 months, and you paid $1,200. That's the only money that you say you paid towards the car.
Yes, I was making the monthly payments on there. The day after my mother passed.
You made $1,200. You never made any other payments towards the car.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, now, the only thing that you paid towards that car was $1,200, and you drove that car May, June, July, August, and September for 5 months. That's all I'm saying to you. That's either a yes or a no.
Yes.
And your lawsuit, actually, you're asking for $3,700, which is what you paid when you paid off the car, because your sister actually has physical possession of the car.
Yep.
Now, is it your intention to sign title over to her?
I'd like to take the car home with me.
Well, you don't have the car. And I know that you would prefer to have the car because it's a good little car. But I actually think that you were a Swiftie. So I don't think I'm going to make that judgment, but I am going to award you what you paid for the car, which is $3,700. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you. In order to get that, we will hold up the check. When, in fact, you sign over title to the car, you get your check. Do you understand?
Yep.
The car.
Okay.
Got it?
I got it.
Perfect. We're done. Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
Just vendetta. That's all it is. Just bad blood, what have you.
I don't believe it was a vendetta.
They were all there just a couple days after my mom passed, and you have to get out of the house.
I wanted the car because it belonged to my mom. It meant a lot to me.
You have to get out of the house. When? Now.
I don't believe she deserved it.
I mean, electricity was turned off and everything else. Yeah, it's all wrongdoing.
She's stealing from my mom and taking advantage of her.
They came in. You have to get out. That was my window there.
We found statements. Her withdrawals on there.
Just hurry.
We stopped all the cards and everything.
Because I knew what my mom requested, and I knew what her wishes were.
Everything's about money, her.
I don't even care if I even see them anymore.
She's very sad that it came to this.
There's been so much wrongdoing to her.
I hope the best for them.
It's the $2,000 question.
What did you do with that money?
Took it to his bank, like he instructed me to.
There were no deposits to the bank.
His assistant is afraid of the answer.
When he got incarcerated, I tried to tell him that I didn't really want to be involved with his criminal action like that.
Was that the first time you've been incarcerated?
No, I've been incarcerated before.
This is Judge Judy. Thomas Brooks is suing his former personal assistant, Guy Harrell, for stealing money from him while he was incarcerated and for filing a false restraining order.
Yeah, this is case number 24 on the calendar in the matter of Brooks versus Harrell. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated.
Mr. Brooks, it is your claim that the defendant who was in your employ somehow scammed you or embezzled you out of money.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant said that he was working for you. He has a counterclaim. He says that you owe him money for wages. I got a few questions. You hired him, according to what I've read in your complaint, as an assistant to someone who has some sort of handicap condition. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is your handicap condition?
I was bedbound at the time I met Mr. Harold in 2017.
No, just a second. Let's go slowly.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
were bedbound.
Yes, ma'am.
In what year?
2017,
Why were you bedbound?
because I was 525 pounds in a room and board facility.
Was the state awarding you any money, any funds for an assistant?
Negative. No. I had my own money.
From what?
I've had money that I've been saving up, living in a room and board.
Saved up from what?
From many years of Social Security that accumulated, plus I have money saved in Social Security back pay. that
Okay,
was
so
reported.
let's go slowly, Mr. Brooks.
Yes, ma'am.
From many years of Social Security. Now,
And-
you don't look like you're old enough to collect Social Security, so you were on Social Security disability.
Yes, ma'am.
Starting when?
I've been on it for approximately 22 years.
And how old are you, sir?
I'm 58 of years.
According to what I read in both the complaint and the answer, you were incarcerated.
Yes, I was.
From when to when? This last time?
February 8th of 2018, I was arrested. I was released on the 15th of December of 2018.
So you were incarcerated for approximately a year.
Approximately a year, 10 months, ma'am.
Was that the first time you've been incarcerated?
No, I've been incarcerated before.
This last time that you were incarcerated, sir, what facility were you at?
Robert Presley Detention Center, Riverside County Sheriff's Department.
Were you in the hospital wing?
Yes, 7th floor medical, in my own cell.
During the time that you were there, you were on a medical unit for the entire 10 months.
Yes, ma'am. I always am.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you there pre-trial or post-conviction?
I was there from the date of arrest to the date of sentence to the date of my release.
So that you were sentenced. Did you took a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
To what?
Harassing phone calls and a threat and violation of a restraining order.
Was that the first time you were arrested on this restraining order?
Yes.
Immediately prior to this incarceration, when was the immediate time that you were arrested and incarcerated prior to this arrest in February of 2018?
2008, I was arrested at state prison. I went to state prison, released in 2015. I was released on AB 109 due to my medical condition. They placed me in a room board where I was living at the time. I'm Mr. Harrell.
Now, I'm going to give you, sir, unless I'm really interested in this, I would like you to tell me, in as short a period of time as possible, what money you think he took from you and how.
I submitted all the proof to you in your records, the copies of the accounts, the checks that he went and picked up from the bank and my name. He also collected two payments from the Superior Court Riverside in the amount of $500 and $1,500.
$1,000. They're both
$1,500 payment.
Just a second. Don't interrupt him.
$1,500 payment was one. $500 payment was the second. That money was never provided to me either.
What money was that for, this $500 and $1,500?
I was awarded $3,800, but it was reduced to $2,000. I was in jail, Mr. Harrell. Went
For
to the
what?
Court, the harassing call, the threat, and the violation
No. Oh, was that against your landlord?
Negative, ma'am. That was a small claims action I filed prior to being arrested against my landlord for violating numerous code violations. I sued her in court. I won the judgment, but I was in jail at the second trial de novo, which she obtained illegally. Mr. Harrell went to the court, even though I filed a motion to the court that he did not want to go pick it up. On March 1st and April 2nd, he went to the court, picked up two
Who filed the motion for you? Who filed the motion for you?
It was done while I was out of custody. Before I got arrested, I filed
Who filed
I did, ma'am.
Personally, not with a lawyer. You personally did.
No lawyers are allowed, no.
What was the name of your landlord?
Wilma.
And what was the name of the victim in the case that the state had against you for violation of a protective order?
That was a person named Sheila.
She was never a landlady of yours.
Negative. This was somebody that I had legal action against that works at the court that filed charges against me for for violating an arrest.
Oh, no, just a second. This was another person against.
Court reporter.
I filed a...
Sheila.
Sheila does not matter. I filed a small claims action prior to being...
That I understand. What I'm asking you is, I asked you the name of the victim
There's
in
two.
the protective
Sheila.
order.
There's two.
You said
Sheila.
her name was Sheila. Sheila was a person that you had a business dealing with, a landlord, but not a social friend?
Negative.
She's a court reporter, ma'am, that he was suing because she didn't get him documents in time to appeal his eviction from the house with Castellanos.
So Sheila
Court reporter.
made an application for an order of protection because you were threatening or harassing her.
I was suing her.
That was granted.
Correct.
Just a second. That was granted. And then you were incarcerated for almost a year for violating that order of protection.
Well, along with other
I'm
charges.
just getting...
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. But the landlady against whom you were successful in getting a judgment for $2,000 was the subject of that case where Sheila allegedly didn't get the minutes in time so that you could appeal. Am I getting that right?
No, that was a separate case, Your Honor. This was his illegal detainer case. Yeah, the legal detainer case is the case and give him the report in time. His lawyer, which was the free clinic.
The transcript.
Yes, he couldn't appeal his case, therefore he was evicted.
When I was evicted, I took legal action against me.
And the person who evicted him was the person against whom he got this $2,000 judgment? Or
Correct.
was that another eviction?
That was the only eviction that I was involved in.
That was the only one?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you were working for him. Did you have an hourly wage or did you do just...
It was just a
per job?
A per task, right. Per task, I would get paid approximately $200 to $300 per task, whether it was filing paperwork for him or actually appearing on his behalf in court. Those were always like $300 to cover for the time and the travel.
How many times did you appear in court for him?
I lost track. Over approximately half to a dozen times. Most of the time it was just small claims. When he got incarcerated, that's when I tried to tell him that I didn't really want to be involved with his criminal actions because I wasn't trying to be an accessory or anything else like that. So that's where we're at.
Now, did you get from the court $2,000,
Correct.
$500,
$1,000.
$1,500?
It was $1,000 payments in 2 installments.
$1,500 and one for $500.
Your Honor, I received the checks, and I was there at the hearing when they issued the amounts for the check.
And they were
$1,000 each.
that $2,000 check.
The first payment was
Those two?
Yes, March 1st, I believe. He
3/1 of this year?
Of 19?
18.
18.
Don't ask him.
I don't remember, Your
Don't
Honor.
ask.
So 18. March 1st.
Was he incarcerated at the time?
Yes, he was.
So it had to be March of 18.
Yes.
So that's $1,000.
Correct.
And when was the second check that you got?
April 2nd.
Of 18.
Correct.
What did you do with that money?
I took it to his bank. I took the checks to his bank like he instructed me to. That's all I ever did when he had money that he needed deposited was I took it to the bank and they handle it.
And you made a deposit in his name?
I just gave it to the clerk. I don't physically do any deposits. I just give them. He already arranges it.
Well, you have to. You can't just hand them. Just a second.
Go ahead.
You can't just walk into a bank and hand them a check. There are little cubby holes.
Yeah.
You take out a slip.
I understand.
Or you have a slip already prepared.
He had
and
the
you
bank
hand
do that.
and they make a deposit. What?
He had the bank do that prior to my arrival. They handled all that stuff for him.
What's the name of the bank that handled this stuff for
Well,
him?
it's no longer in business because he sued them, and I guess they folded up shop. That's the best that I can determine.
What bank? What is the name of the bank?
I don't know the name. It's out
What
of
was the
business.
name of your bank, sir?
My bank was First National Bank of Southern California. Ma'am?
Shh.
I'm sorry.
Did you sue them?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a lawyer?
No, ma'am.
Did you sue them over this money?
I sued the tellers, but the thing is, there was no deposits made to my account at all.
Mr. Brooks,
Yes, ma'am.
in what year did you sue the bank?
It's still ongoing, ma'am. They're getting an attorney.
It's ongoing?
Yes, ma'am. See, they tried to get restraining orders
And
against
that,
me.
just a second, that case against the bank is still ongoing.
It's not
Is
against
that
the
what you
bank,
just
ma'am.
said to
It's
me?
against the bank employees, a couple of bank employees that were violating the credit union or policies. But they're trying to get a restraining order to this day. It's still ongoing on that.
Did it have anything to do with these
Negative.
deposits?
No, nothing at all, ma'am. There were no deposits to the bank.
I don't know that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
as of September 2019, which is after you were released, he's still asking you for payment.
I don't owe him no money. I have proof.
I didn't ask you whether you were owing him anything, sir.
Thomas Brooks says his former personal assistant, Guy Harrell, stole settlement money from him while he was in jail. Guy is countersuing for unpaid wages.
Now, Mr. Brooks, how many lawsuits have you?
2 counties.
It's not true.
Total of 5?
Yes, ma'am.
In the last 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
In the last 8 years, how many lawsuits have you filed?
I can't even answer that, to be honest with you.
More than
I've had different types of suits.
Shh. I'm just asking you, in the last 8 years.
I can't tell you.
You just told me in the last 3, one of which you were incarcerated. So in 2 years, you filed 5 lawsuits. Prior to being incarcerated, for the immediate 5 years before you were incarcerated, how many lawsuits did you file?
I can't tell you that, honestly. I could say probably in the last 5 years, 4 years since I've been out of custody, maybe 5 or 6, to be honest with you. I can't really remember. I don't keep track of that.
I said prior to you going to jail.
Probably 4 to 5, ma'am. I don't have the exact amount.
Mr. Harrell, you started to do work for him in 2017?
Correct, January.
Prior to that, do you know how many lawsuits Mr. Brooks had filed?
No clue whatsoever. I didn't even know anything about his legal issues until 2018 when he...
Well, I'd like to know how you met him.
I worked for a cab company known as AA and then Empire Cab, which they're still in business, but they mostly do non-emergency medical transport now. I got a random call from a customer, which was turned out to be Mr. Brooks, 2017. Never had any prior dealings or information about him. I learned a lot in the years while taking him from other drivers. But his first call was come to his house. He handed me his debit card.
Okay, I got it. That's how you became involved with him.
Correct.
Now, how many times did you make deposits in his account?
Less than half a dozen.
And he got out of jail in December of 2019.
18, ma'am.
2018. When, for the first time, did Mr. Brooks accuse you of taking money from him?
Never. Not until he tried to serve me, I guess, in March, but I never looked at the paperwork.
March of 2020?
I believe so.
March of 2020. Mr. Brooks.
Yes.
You got out of jail almost 2 years ago. When, for the first time, did you ask Mr. Harrell for an accounting of any of this money?
I've always...
Never.
Can he answer? He has never given me a receipt. I've asked for an accounting numerous times. I've also requested the county of Riverside to get an accounting. He will not give receipts for nothing to nobody. He tells people what they need. I give him my debit card for whatever service he asks for. And he swipes the card, and he puts in my PIN and my code.
All right. Mr. Brooks, when you got out of, continue to use Mr. Harrell's services?
Not at all. He wouldn't even pick me up from the jail to take me back to my room and board.
So is what you're telling me you have not seen Mr. Harrell from the time you went to jail until today?
No, I did not say that. I said I've not used his service. I have called him numerous times. He hangs up on me or tries to block my number. So I have asked him numerous times for receipts or accounting and the money.
No, I'm not asking you receipt or accounting, Mr. Brooks. I'm not asking you receipt or accounting. What I'm asking you is whether Mr. Harrell has done any work for you, any of these small jobs, since you got out of jail.
Nothing. He refuses.
Is that correct, Mr. Harrell?
Absolutely incorrect.
Well, when was the last time you did a job for Mr. Brooks?
The last correspondence officially that I have with him, where I'm actually still doing stuff for him, which was basically just doing either court documents, like affidavits for him, or actually showing up in court. The last refusal that I have...
show me.
Okay. The last refusal that I have for him in an email...
All I want you to do is show me some evidence, Mr. Harrell, that Mr. Brooks, who is clearly litigious, has used your services since he's out of jail.
As of September 16, 2019, he's still trying to get me to do services for him when I emphatically tell him. You know, he keeps... It's down here, Your Honor.
Let me read this.
This is my statement to him.
I see it.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You don't say anywhere that he owes you money.
He does owe me the money he stole from the court judgment and the bank.
I suggest, Mr. Brooks, you find something else to do other than sue people.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Thomas Brooks has accused his former personal assistant, Guy Harrell, of stealing money from him while he was locked up.
Okay, go ahead.
He keeps wanting me to work on his behalf. And I told him, stop. I've already told you to contact me with payment, and then we'll continue to do business after that. But he couldn't get it in his head.
Wanting him to do work is one thing. Doing it is another.
I appeared at least 2 or 3 cases between the time of him being incarcerated and the time that I told him that I'm refusing to do work for lack of payment. And he just continues to send me...
Just a second.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Now, that's September 16th, Your Honor. I have another one from the 23rd. Okay.
I want you to be quiet. I'm reading.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
Mr. Harrell wrote to you on September the 16th of 2019. Am I reading this right?
Correct.
I've asked you repeatedly, stop contacting me. What was that about?
He keeps thinking I owe him $4,500, and I don't owe him nothing. He's made a declaration to the court, and I have the statement showing he's been paid in full. I have his PayPal account screenshot and all the copies of the checks.
So as of at least that date, the 19th, he has something else to show me. As of September 2019, which is after you were released, he's still asking you for payment. He's asking you for a check.
I don't owe him no money. I have proof.
I didn't ask you whether you were owing him anything, sir.
He's asking for money.
I said he was still asking you for a check.
Yes.
Okay, let me see the next time, Mr. Harrell.
This is the emphatic denial from him on September 23rd, where he just listed all the threats and demands for me if I was going to come after him.
You mean that was for your request to him for money?
And for him to stop contacting me. And he sent me this long email about all the factors of which he wasn't going to pay me.
Well, Mr. Brooks,
yes.
This communication from you doesn't say anything about him owing you any money.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, now, you're talking in this letter about his claim that you owe him money. You don't say anywhere that he owes you money.
He does owe me the money he stole from the court judgment and the bank. I have the copies of them. I'd like to submit my proof, please.
We're done. We're done. Mr. Harrell,
yes, Your Honor.
I would suggest you not do any more work for him. Do you understand?
I haven't, Your Honor.
Okay, good. And you haven't, according to this, in 2 years, right?
Approximately
you
since
told him to leave you alone.
June of 2019,
right.
Correct.
So in 2 years, yeah.
Can I show my exhibits,
I suggest,
please?
Mr. Brooks, you find something else to do other than sue people. Your case is dismissed. We're done.
That's fine, no problem.
The counterclaim, Your Honor?
Gone.
Counterclaim?
Gone.
So I'm not going to get paid?
I just answered you.
Okay, all right.
It's 2 years old. That's correct. Goodbye, both of you. We're done.
This case is concluded. Let's step out.
And on the next Judge Judy.
I just completely walked into the window with trash in my hand and fell back.
He was intoxicated.
You saw him fall.
I did, and he called his mom right away. She told him to sue them. That I heard.
Judge Judy.
He's going to continue on this. He's not going to stop.
No, I'm not. I'll sue for what I got coming.
One of his lawyers told me when I first